What's good, everybody? I'm RJ.
And I'm Isaac.
And welcome to Spot Talk, all right? So want to do a quick little check out to our sponsors. Fresh Baked, okay, the OGs of cannabis in Boulder. Shout out to them.
Make sure you go check them out.
That's right. So we're going to get into our guest. All right, starting off with a little intro, all right? So one of the top point guards to come out of Montbello High School.
Number one.
Top 15 all time at Denver University.
Let them know.
A businessman, a mentor, a husband, a father, much, much more.
What can he do?
Can I say to Russell motherfucking Martin, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
Coming out.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me. Congratulations on the show. I'm super excited for
Thank
it.
you, man.
Thank you.
How's your summer going, man? What's going on with you? How are you? You know, I know I've seen you earlier this week, but how's your summer been?
That's a fucking loaded question.
What?
I mean, my summer is wild. I got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old at home. My wife is an educator, so she's off all summer.
Right.
I work down in the basement in my office and I'm going fucking nuts. I hear feet all over the place. My son's slapping my daughter. My daughter's biting him. It's
Chaos
bad.
in the house.
Yeah, definitely. But summer's going all right.
It's going great.
Yeah.
The Rugrats.
Yeah.
So, you know, we kind of want to dive in for people that don't know who you are, to kind of give us a little background about yourself.
Because I know I met you way back when me and RJ first started hanging out.
Yep.
And when I met you, I knew you was the man. But doing this research on you, let them know about you. Let 'em know.
So starting off, just letting everybody know, like, where you're from.
Well, I'm excited that you guys did your research.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, God damn. I'm like, they're well prepared.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, just a little bit about myself, where I'm from. I'm a local guy. Grew up in Denver, Colorado. I've lived here my entire life. Grew up in Montbello. Graduated from Montbello High School. Went on to play basketball at the University of Denver. Lived a strong bachelor life for a long time.
Okay, yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that.
Spend time with family, and you know, I'm a professional here in Denver, Colorado.
So, you know, going into like childhood, what were the sports? Like, what were you into as a kid? Sports, hobbies, and things like that.
You know, on my block, I was the youngest on the block.
Okay.
And so we had all these OGs on the block that were good at basketball, football, baseball, believe it or not, BMX, all kinds of shit.
Right.
And so you had to be competitive on my block to make it. You know, so every time you came out the door, you were challenged.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, someone was pressing you right away. They're sitting outside ready to play street football. I don't know. Y'all know anything about that?
Come on now. Come on. I don't, right? Let's not be disrespectful of this ball.
Okay. So anyway, I fell in love with, initially it was football.
Oh, what? Hold on.
Yeah.
Quick sidebar. This is my uncle. Okay, my man, 50 grand. I never knew that. Okay, go
Yeah.
elaborate on that.
What position?
Oh, I was a fullback.
What?
What?
Yeah,
Okay,
fullback,
okay,
and
okay.
I was like 130 pounds dripping wet.
Hey, coming with that heat, though.
Hey man, but I got to the end zone.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But once I got my bell rung a couple times, I was like, yo, I'm not, fuck this.
It's done.
Basketball. So long story short, every sport we got after it, but basketball and football were my shit. And
Okay.
Of course, basketball was my love.
So, how did you start to? So, was it just the hits that was like, or were you truly like? I know that there's a time where it's like, I just feel more comfortable with this sport, or was it like, yo, I got hit, I'm going to basketball?
Yeah.
So it was different. I know, I'm like back in my day.
Yeah, hey, that's what we want.
Yo, it was head-on collision. So after practice, you take your helmet off and you compare how many marks you got.
Yeah.
Right.
That ain't good for you.
Yeah.
Right?
You got concussions every day.
Yeah, so a couple of those, and I was like, yeah. And then, embarrassing, they moved me from fullback to center.
Oh shit, yeah.
I was like,
Time to hang him up.
yeah, man, I'm done.
You was
Yeah.
like Ricky when he was in the car and he's hurt. They don't leave me.
Done.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
I
done.
feel you.
So then basketball it was.
Okay.
So then you played basketball in high school, right?
So I played for middle school for John Bailey. He's a legend in Colorado, specifically Park Hill. And John Bailey was the father figure that I didn't have because, you know, my dad, we had a different situation, but, you know, single mom with her kids doing what she had to do.
Yeah.
You know, there weren't many father figures. You know, I had my uncles, which were great, but they were living in different places. So it was just us. And so John Bailey, you know, I started playing basketball with him, and he was like my pops for years. And it's just shit you don't even know about.
Yeah.
And John, he made a difference in my life, and I fell in love with basketball.
Okay.
Well,
So how was it going? So did you start playing basketball for like a little league team?
yeah, first it was the rec center in Montpello.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So how was that transition, right, from going from little league ball to high school ball? Because I remember it was kind of like, oh, this is different. Everybody's jumping a little bit higher and things like that. So like,
do that level, step up.
yeah.
That
So how was that going to? Because I know you went to Regis first.
Yeah.
So how was that like transition? So give us a little, you know, rundown on like how the transition was from going from a middle school player to a high school player.
That shit was humbling. So in Montbello, straight up ballers everywhere. I mean, like Montbello had some of the top basketball talent in the nation, right? I mean, they never won championships, but you know, East High and Manual are grabbing all those. But there are some ballers out of Montbello, and so coming out of middle school, I was tagged. They were like, "Yeah, we're hearing about you." They're like, "Yeah, come get some of this." And so as soon as I started my freshman year, everybody was coming at me. They were like, "Oh, you played for John Bailey, joint effort. You left the neighborhood to go play with him in Park Hill." I had an X on my chest, and so it was straight competition too. I was like, I'm not gonna back down. I was like, this is my neighborhood. I'm like, fuck your ass. I'm like, what?
Denzel off a training day. I'll run this shit.
I was like, fuck that. So it got heavy quick, but it was super competitive. I mean, faster, bigger, stronger, just made you work harder. And I was like, yeah, I'm busting everybody's ass.
Yeah. So just that mentality, right? Because I feel like that's lost now. You know what I'm saying? Like that killer mentality.
Yeah.
Getting
What do you?
after it, especially in sports and in the weight room, you know, there's definitely a lot of people out there in the weight room that are doing great things.
Yeah.
But your 24-hour fitness, Planet Fitness, and then there's not that mentality of hard work and putting in that effort.
Yep.
And being a killer. So like, how did you have that mindset, like, to like go in and like, yo, because you could have been like, yo, my team was good and kind of like laid off, but like, how did you have that mindset to go in like, I'm about to give everybody this work?
You born with that shit.
There you go. Okay.
Yo,
Okay.
It's just in you. It's like
Either have it or you
when
don't.
it's okay. Here's a good example. When it's 10 degrees outside, everybody's inside. They're sitting by the TV. They got the heat going. I was a kid that was outside. I shoveled off the walkway, and I was out there balling.
Yeah.
Because I was crazy about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just in you.
Hey, see, pay attention to that, everybody. You know what I'm saying? You want to get somewhere, you gotta go get that shit. Everybody right now, I feel like a lot of people want to just wake up and just be great, or like it's like, oh, I know this person, so I'm just gonna, be great. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the stuff that people don't see that goes into it. So
for sure.
obviously, that grind started to pay off. Tell us a little bit how it was, going from Regis to Montbello and how your Montbello, careers were.
Ooh, that's rough. You can uncover some shit with that. So I was at Montbello my freshman year, and then my mom wanted me to get a better education.
Okay.
Because, let's face it, our teachers at that time, there were some teachers that just didn't give a fuck. They were just kind of passing you through. My mom was like, no, we're not going to have this. She's like, we have the money, send you to private school.
Okay.
So go to private school, was at Regis for a year and a half. And so think about it, inner city, Montbello, going all the way to Regis, uniform every day, all boys school at the time.
Yo, yeah, it still is, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they got a campus across the street.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So they didn't have that back then.
They didn't have that back then. It was it was all boys. That's it. And so coming from
Took you to boarding school.
it's fucking terrible. It's terrible. And all these motherfuckers, they grew up together in Catholic school. Here I am coming from Montbello.
You was Will Smith.
Yo, they was like, I was Will Smith.
He was Will Smith. God damn it, Grandma did Will Smith.
Yo, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And it was, it was different. Being from, I mean, they treated you differently. They treated you like you were poor. They treated you like you were gonna steal something. They didn't trust you.
You were the black kid.
I was a black kid. I was a token. So when I went to Regis, there were like probably 7 black kids there, and that's it. And they assumed that we were athletes, although I was, but some of them weren't.
Yeah.
And they just assumed, they're like, oh, so you come to Regis, right? And what sport do you play? And some of them are like, what are you talking about? They're like, you play basketball, right? And they're like, no. You play football? No. It's like
Like your name's Jamal.
yeah,
right?
what? So I was there for a year and a half, and then I forced my way out of the school.
Okay.
So I started fighting a lot for no reason. I just started fighting. So I was like, I want to go back to my neighborhood, because every time I got back to Montbello, I had to go back there every day.
Yeah.
Fuckers was clowning me about what I was wearing.
Oh, man.
I ain't had no girls. They was like, you going to all boys school? Like,
Yeah, that's hard.
It was
That's
tough
hard. They're
transition.
like, oh, look at Will Smith.
Yeah.
Fresh pissed ass walking around here.
Yeah, I know. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And so I forced my way out of Regis, went back to Montbello, and from there on to college.
Okay, so getting into that, all right? Oh, good, you got something?
So from high school and going into college, who's recruiting you?
Good question. So I had Pepperdine was on me for a while.
Okay.
I know this is crazy. K-State was calling, and I was like, oh, fucking K-State.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I wanted to go to CSU really bad.
Oh, okay.
That was just my school, right? But none
You
of
guys
them.
already talking, or?
Yeah, we were talking, but none of them were like really serious. It was all conversations.
Yeah, like, hey, we noticed you.
Yeah, we noticed you, but nothing was concrete. But when DU came in, they came in aggressive.
No, they wanted you back.
Yeah, they were like, hey, we're going D1. Like, you want to be part of this transition? We're building a new facility. Like,
Did you do any visits?
yeah, went on visit. And so back then they let you play with the team when you came on a visit. I know, he's like, oh, what?
What do you mean, like in high school, you were 17, you could go to DU for a visit, and you could play a game with them.
I played with the team, not actually like scrimmage.
Okay.
So I walk in the building, and I didn't even know. Coach is like, yo, you got your gear? I go,
Excuse me?
what you talking about? He's like, it's like, we scrimmage here. I go, I don't have my gear, but, give me some stuff. I'm ready to go.
Play right now.
And so I got dressed. I went down there. Whole team was there. And everybody's like, yeah. There were three juniors that were going to be seniors.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, he's coming for my position. They were point guards. Let's just say I left there with a scholarship. Because
Yeah.
I was busting all their asses. Oh, it was bad.
Barbecue.
Wiping the floor with
Yeah.
So going into DU, how was that? That next step up from high school to college ball. Because I remember when, and you might can attest to this too, going from high school to college. Like, we were very well prepared from the high school that we went to, but that's a next step up. Like,
Yeah.
that level of seriousness really dials in. Like,
Yep.
you're a scholarship. Like,
Yep.
they own you. You
Yep.
you are at practice. There is no ends or buts like high school. Like, I missed.
Yeah. So that's easy for me.
It's got the dog in it.
That piece of it, I was like, yo, I got this. Like, it didn't matter. We work out early in the morning. We work out midday, evening. I was there, and I wanted all the smoke. I was like, that was easy for me. What was hard was the school part,
Okay.
because
The GPA.
it was, Montbello didn't prepare you for that shit at the time. Montbello has done wonderful things for a lot of people, but during my era, there was a little gap, right? So when I went to Regis, I was lower, GPA in my class. When I went to Montbello, I went back and crushed it, just from that year and a half that I was at Regis. So that kind of gave me an idea. And when I went to college, it was another level up. But that year and a half that I was at Regis prepared me.
Well enough to
Yeah.
keep up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But if I would have stayed at Regis, I probably wouldn't have got a basketball scholarship. When I went back to Montbello, they were looking at Montbello. They were looking for people like me. I wasn't getting that exposure there.
Okay. So you were saying that, was it what really made you pick DU? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you went there, like, what was the things where you're like, yo, like, this is why I gotta come here?
For one, your auntie was there.
Okay.
So she was going to school there, so it made the transition really easy. And then I looked at it, I was like, look, I'm a good basketball player. What's the likelihood of me going to the NBA? It's pretty slim. Although we think we're gonna go pro, and you should have that confidence, it's tough. And so I was thinking, okay, what's gonna put me in a really good position once I enter the professional world? And so I thought about DU, and I was like, wow, this is it, because I got a top business school in the nation. It's at home. I can play in front of my family. We're transitioning to D1.
Because what degree did you get?
Marketing finance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was an easy choice from there.
No-brainer for you.
Yeah.
So how was playing though at DU? I heard you balled out.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it sounds like you're being a little humble.
I started my freshman year, point guard. My freshman year. I mean,
Took their spot.
I told you when I came, I was like, I had that Montbello dog in me. Like,
Okay.
it's hard. I mean,
Was there fights at practice? Okay, because like when as I'm hearing this, I'm like, yo, like honestly, there's so much of us that are. I didn't know you was like that. I didn't know you was like that. I like on my side, I was like that. And,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like super like
Yeah.
aggressive like that. So like when you're talking, I'm like, this is exactly where I get it from then. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, what in that stage, you know what I'm saying, when you're out there doing that, there has to be somebody that's like, yo, we're about to whoop this freshman's ass. Like somebody had to step to you at some point, freshman, sophomore, junior, there had to be a fight.
Yeah, it was almost every day in practice. It was a
Okay.
push, it was a
Ooh,
shove.
I like
The coach was like, stop. And then at one point, I remember I was at the free throw line and we're all lined up and there's a cat taking his free throws and he's talking shit. And I go, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it.
Tired of
And
hearing
he keeps going. I was like, I tell you what. I was like, if you say one more word, I'm gonna walk over there and bust you in your fucking mouth.
Ooh, sweet talk me.
And he say shit, and I was like, that's how it was.
Yeah.
And we got into the locker room, fight.
okay.
But yeah, it was scuffle. It was.
Exactly. But I mean, I feel like
We were brothers.
you gotta fight.
Yeah.
You gotta fight your
And
brothers.
I would, like, before practice, I would literally tell Isaac, I would like, first drill, the inside run, I'm starting it off.
It was he hitting you?
No. He would be on, he's on D line. So it was like,
And he was
and
the
I was
linebacker.
linebacker, so
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah.
But I would just let him know
That he's coming down.
that I'm going to do
There's gonna be
a
fight,
blitz
and
that's
I'm
not
gonna
called.
be-
Yeah.
And I'm going to unnecessarily smack somebody. I
Yeah.
might kick them. Like, I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
start
be
a
right
fight.
there. So
Yes.
I gotta back him up.
Exactly.
Well,
Defense versus offense.
let me ask you too. In high school and college, did you have more fights in high school or in college in football?
school.
At practice?
Yeah, practice.
That's hard for me. Like I said, like I feel like I maybe high school, because
Yeah.
like in college you kind of gotta like play your role till you get a little bit
Yeah.
older. I mean, college, no doubt, it is what it is. We can get to it. But I feel like in high school, I literally like I would go out to practice with that's
He
the
was
first thing on my
instigating
mind.
fights.
Oh yeah,
Like you said, very first practice, padded up.
listen,
He's starting a fight.
first padded
We
practice.
started off in team.
First padded practice, I would let people know. I am going to. We are fighting at
are
this
fighting.
point. So it's either you're in or you're out.
Set the fire though for the season.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a kid that used to wear a leather coat with a pinky ring.
Hey, you can be smooth off the field, baby.
Well, yeah.
You can be smooth off the field. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Had a little electric motorcycle. We're talking about that?
Listen,
What?
I know the aggressive side of RJ. Absolutely.
I hate to lose.
Absolutely.
I would like, but the thing was, it was like our team. It was always like a pecking order. So it was like I always felt like I'm gonna call that shot. So if you was a player, like for instance, there was a running back. I won't air him out right now, but he was talking big trash to me before practice. He was younger,
Yeah.
and I think I was like my junior year. I'm like, come on, bro, like don't
He's a starter.
don't talk crazy. I'm a second year starter at this point.
Yeah.
And then he was just talking crazy. So at practice, they did a little inside run. We met. It was over. Like,
Yeah.
smacked his ass.
Yeah.
But I smacked his ass, and I started a whole fight. Like, I'm pushing linemen. I want all the smoke. But it was just like, we had players, like, we had safeties that were, like, when we came in, I felt like when we came in at high school, we had players on our team that, like, set that tone already. Like,
They all had that dog in it.
exactly.
I wouldn't
Like,
say everybody.
They
but
was,
there a number.
but they was like, they will beat, like, we will fight. We might lose a game, but we will fight. And I was like, shit, I can get down with that. Because it was like, at the end of the day, you can kind of like fight with, you know what I mean, with your brothers. But no, I was definitely, long story short, I was definitely the one that was starting the fights. Especially now in basketball, I can't even.
Don't even go.
This
This dude, the basketball.
Listen, we'll get to
Yo,
that. We'll
yo,
get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get
I'm
to that.
getting a court installed just for his ass right now.
Listen. We'll get to that nonsense.
Whenever you want it, you can get it. Anyways.
So going into your senior year of college, right? So we'll just talk about this for a little bit. Dog, you was balling. I will give you this, and it hurt me to say, but you was really that man. Like we were looking at your stats, and I was like, God damn, I'm calling people. I'm like, yo, Uncle Russell was like that. They're like, no, he was like that. So, you know,
1,200 in 3 years. 1,200 points plus in 3 years.
in 3 years.
That's
Yeah.
100 points a season.
Listen,
In high school.
you hold 3 records. 4 actually at DU still to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's big. But anyway, so going into your senior year, right? Already you had a crazy junior year.
Yep.
Right? So going into your senior year, are you thinking like, if I have this crazy senior year, I can make it to the NBA? Or are you thinking solely of, let me just play right now in the moment at DU, the NBA is a long shot?
Yo, I was focused on going to the NBA.
Okay.
I wanted it. I really did.
Were you in talks?
Oh, there were conversations. There wasn't like, hey, we're gonna draft you, but
Right.
you know, the Nuggets, we share practice facilities with the Nuggets for a long time at our school. And so, they come in and I was getting after these guards and I'm like, shit, maybe I got an opportunity. Maybe I can get there. And so for me, it was like, it was love of the game because I was having fun in college.
Right.
Yeah.
Going to the senior year, you just like, kind of the man a little bit.
Yo, talk on that a little bit. How was that being the man of DU? You know what I'm saying? How was it being the man of DU? A student athlete, you know what I'm saying? You were, listen,
Statute of limitations.
we did some research. You were like the top point guards in NCAA.
Yeah.
So like with all that buzz, like, you know what I'm saying? Even though there's no social media, I think that probably makes it better.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, yo, you know who that is? You know who that is?
Yeah.
How were you able to handle all that and still come to the court and go crazy?
Yo, I was wearing a lot of Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah, you was in the NIL deal.
I was
NCAA is
like-
coming to call.
I was like, my boys came through, we were drinking 40s, hanging out. I was like, this is the shit right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You had that moment, huh?
oh yeah, we had fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I wasn't traded for the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what college is all about.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
So going that next step into the NBA,
Yeah.
how'd that go?
So it was
You were talking, you said.
yeah, it was interesting. So I was invited to work out with the Nuggets. And so it was Chauncey was there, like all these guys.
Right.
Straight ballers. And so I'm balling with them in summer league. We're doing one-on-one workouts. It's like they're like, "Hey man, you might have a shot."
Right.
And I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Really?" And it's like, "Yeah, you might have a shot." And so I kind of just attacked it, and it was fun. I got to know a lot of people. I spent a lot of time with John Lucas, who's a legend in Houston, like straight up legend. He's still NBA. He's a head coach, assistant coach. John's a man. So I was working out with John all the time. He was like, "Look, we're gonna get, you're gonna get a shot." And so it was cool.
So did you get your shot?
I got my shot, and when I got my shot, I showed up. It was good. It was summer league. I was playing with those guys, and I remember I was in the locker room after a scrimmage, and I'm sitting there, and everyone comes in, and we're all just hanging out, and there was one guy, his name was Eric Washington, and he was, I'm that young punk. I'm all pumped up and shit. And he's just kind of like, he's got this blank look on his face. And I'm like, hey, man, what's your deal?
Yeah, what's up?
Because he can ball. And he looked at me and he goes, you don't get it. I was like, what do you mean I don't get it? He says, in the NBA, most of these guys have guaranteed contracts. So the guards that were on the team, he started going through them, and he was just like, one of them is on a $30 million contract. Do you think you're better, $30 million better than him for them to have to cut him and then pay you? And I was like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. And he was like, yo, I'm 28 years old. I've never had a job before. I'm bouncing around. I'm going overseas, coming back. And he was just like, this is it. He was like, you need to take a look at this and make sure it's for you, because if not, you need to get a head start on life and start your career. And I looked around and I was like, yeah, I'm good, but I'm not that good at that time. And I was like, professional world for me.
Right after that?
Yeah.
So you never like thought about, you know what I'm saying, hitting the Euro circuit and nothing like
You
that?
said you did overseas?
Yeah, I didn't go. I was just like, when it's your time, it's your time. When you know, and I just knew at that moment when I was talking with that cat, I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be known for that. I was like, you know what? Basketball's done amazing things for me. I got a free education, University of Denver.
Yep.
I met all sorts of wonderful people. It built my network, made my family proud for graduating. I was like, dude, that's a pros for me.
Yeah.
That's success.
That's big.
And moving into the business world, I was like, that gave me the confidence.
Yeah, that's big because a lot of people, I can like kind of like, I feel that because I kind of had the same thing like with football.
Yeah.
I was like giving myself a certain age, right? Because I was like, see what happens. It was kind of like it was like a roller coaster thing or whatever.
Yep.
But it was like, I gave myself 25. Because I was like 25, you know what I'm saying? I'm already starting with my career and being a personal trainer, what I already wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, 25. And dog, I tell you, when I was going to these showcase games or like talking to like other players, they're like late in their 20s. Some of them are in their 30s, and they're like,
yeah, you're like, what
Even
the?
in college, I remember being
yeah,
like,
so-
how do you still have eligibility?
25 with like 3 kids. You're like,
so it's like, it's one of those things, but it's like,
college, yeah.
a lot of people unfortunately put all their eggs in that one basket.
Yeah.
So it's like we saw it. I mean, I started seeing it in college, but I never really paid too much attention to it because I'm like, I'm just focusing on this right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally going pro was the last thing on my mind until everything started happening.
Yep.
So it was like, to me, I wasn't necessarily thinking like that. So it was kind of like in that moment where people have to like realize that sports, especially professionally,
Yeah.
end eventually.
Yeah.
So I remember I was just in a game, somebody was like, I'm 30. I was like, what? What the fuck? You're 30? I'm 23 years old. What are we doing?
Yeah, right.
But it was like, I respect the grind and all that, but it's like, I feel like you have to make that adjustment. You know what I'm saying? And that's key.
I think we all grow up and we want to take care of mama, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy that it's mama. That we get a whole nother story. Yeah. We just like, it's just mama. You want
Right.
to take care of mom.
Right.
And for us, it was sports. It's like, that's how you're going to take
the
care
way
of
we
mom.
were.
And
That's
how
the way out.
That's who it was. But the thing about it is, what I realized is it doesn't have to be. Like, sports can get you there, but then you go into a whole different professional world and you're a pro there.
Yeah.
You have longevity. There's a lot of value. Like, everyone wants to be a baller and do it. But if you can make that transition, I thought, make the transition quickly and you'll be set up.
Yeah, I think that's something that you told me that, like, I literally, like, it stuck with me. Like, I used to tell people, like, bro, my uncle makes more than some of the players do. And they're like looking at me, I'm like, he told me you can still make bread without playing. But it was just like that, it translates differently. Like when I was younger, I thought of it as all as money. But then as you get older, it's just being a professional. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go out, and people know you, you're respected, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to get in somewhere. If it's, you get a different pull. Like I've always like tried to mimic you in that way where it's like I always wanted to be like a person where it's like I go somewhere, it's like, oh, that's RJ, or you know what I mean? Because growing up, we go anywhere, people knew you got it, so it's like you was getting more attention than any other point guard in the Nuggets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like you were a professional, you know what I'm saying? Everybody respected you. You did your thing already. It wasn't like you were, you know what I mean, you were reaching to go to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, you chose a different path.
Yeah, I got a good story for you.
Okay, go ahead with that. Go ahead.
Okay, this is some shit. So one of my spots where I like to have lunch, quite often, it's either Hillstone or Cherry Creek Grill.
Okay.
And so that's kind of our thing.
Hillstone.
And I'm like, hey, let's, you know.
Shout out to Hillstone.
Yeah,
Sponsors.
Hillstone. Bring the flying chicken platter back. That's some bullshit. You heard it here first. So that's kind of like our thing. But we usually do Hillstone. But this specific day, I was like, we're going to do something different. We're going to switch it up and go to Cherry Creek Grill. I know, rough life, right? That's a whole other thing. So, yo, we roll into it. Keep in mind, these are places I've been going my whole professional career. Like, I'm a staple in this motherfucker. So we roll in. I sit down at the bar. I'm there because he's always late. It's like fucking everything. This motherfucker can't be on time for shit. So, yo,
I didn't even know I was a part of the story until you said that. I was like, oh shit, that damn.
he's always 30 minutes late. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have a drink, get appetizer, and then he comes rolling in, sits his ass down. We're catching up, and the bartender, who doesn't really say shit to me, turns around and goes, "Are you RJ?" I'm like, wait a minute. This is my spot.
This is my shit.
She goes, you're the guy. And I'm like, I'm watching this shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on right now?
That's called an
And
RJ.
she's just like, yeah, I follow you on Instagram. And I'm just like, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm just leaving. I was like, I can't believe I went in there and I was just like, he done took over my spot. He don't even come here.
Never.
And so I come back and I'm like, so what's all that about? He was like, oh man, she wants to be a client. And I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. My nephew is like a local celebrity. I'm like, I'm done.
Hey man,
I'm done.
I'm just following. I'm just following the path.
I can't go nowhere now. He's trying to beat me up on a basketball court. He's taking my sponsor in Cherry Creek. I'm like, I can't leave the house.
Listen, man, I'm just following, you know what I'm saying, the path that I was led to go, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, so we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit. So we have a segment that we like to do. It's called Big Ups. So, like, a lot of people do, like, we're giving you flowers. Like, we want to switch it up and do, like, big ups to you. So, you know, we want to give a big ups to you, first off, for being a person that donates for, you know, kids that can't go to college, you know, for scholarships, for that. Yeah. Especially, you know, inner city kids. It's major, you know, to even just experience college. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand. Like, it's not necessarily, like, of course you should finish, but, like, it's the experience of going to college. Like, we have, you know, could tell you from different views of it, but I feel like going to college shapes you for the real world. Like, and it's not necessarily the school, it's just like the lifestyle. Like
the adult aspect.
Exactly, like you now have to
get your responsibilities done and things like that. Like
cooking yourself.
What?
Doing your own,
you're
like,
not with mom anymore. She gotta do your laundry.
Or like know what
he never did his laundry.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I still did it. I still did it anyway. But it was just like, you know, those things where it's like you go to college and then you meet people that you'll know for life. Like some of our closest homies we met in college. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of like, you know, you are a person that's like giving them the opportunity, and also that you are coaching youth. You know what I'm saying? Giving back to youth.
Yeah, man. Loving, you know, I used to coach youth, and I bet you could test that. Teaching kids is very enlightening. It gets that lightning in you. Like those kids, they're so active. They're so ready to learn. Sometimes you gotta regroup them a little bit, but you know, being able to have that positive influence to the next generation, to the future of our you know, our world, That's real special. You know, not a lot of people can do that, and you know, big ups to you for stepping
Appreciate
up
that.
and taking that role.
And
Thank
you
you.
know,
Thank you.
Hey, if you ever like got back into coaching, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you would be the perfect pro coach. Like the Nuggets need you to be the point guard coach. Nuggets, listen to me. We got you here.
I mean-
all right, we rep you and we love you.
Yeah.
If y'all want to keep running it back and you want Murray to get better, this is the guy you need. His name's Russell Martin. If you don't know, go ahead and Google him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Search.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, we're gonna going back into these questions.
Okay.
All right. So after you said you were done, you wanted to get into that pro world. You know, what was your mindset when you realized your career was over?
It hurt. It's isolating.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
grieving moment.
it is. Because at one point, your entire life, people have been building you up, especially in college. In college, you just like, everybody, they love you, right? They need something from you. They want to be a part. They want to be like, hey,
You want to be next to you.
I had a drink. I had a drink with RJ. I had a drink with Isaac.
Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
filling up? Let's
Yeah,
fill
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, a little something, something.
There we go.
So yeah, it's fucking depressing. It hurts because when you walk away from and it's not like it's not like a retirement or some shit, but it's
But
just
it is though. You gotta think.
Yeah.
How long you been playing basketball?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until you're literally at the point of going to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't understand like how big mental health is
Yeah.
in the world, but like with athletes. Like mental health in athletes is so big, but it's like it's more now like getting out there.
Yeah.
But like that shit's tough, yo. Like that shit that could week by week could really fuck with you. Like you could be on the high of a high, low of a low the next day. But anyway, go ahead and continue.
No, that's just tough, man. It was depressing. I mean, you go from people always wanting something from you in a good way,
Right.
building you up, to now you're a professional. You're gone. The university's done with you. And you got your paper, but they're done with you. We got to move on. They got to continue to push forward. And you're just like,
You can't help but win.
yo, it's so isolating. You get it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You get into the professional world and it's like back to square one. But that mental toughness that you built up in college helps you.
You apply it there.
You apply it and you get that killer mentality. You just like, look, I'm not gonna be at the bottom much longer. Like I'm gonna find my way and I'm gonna get what I want.
Right.
And so that's, it's like being a freshman all over again. You coming on, you're like, yo, I gotta prove myself.
Yeah.
Except you're dealing with corporate motherfuckers now, and that's a whole different.
Where'd you go work after basketball?
So my first job was at Wells Fargo. After my mom took advantage of us for years. My mom we own a coffee business and free labor, all kinds of shit. We could get her arrested.
This is all off the record. It's all off the record.
She never fucking paid us shit. Anyway.
Labor. We need our back pay. That's my money and I need it now.
Yo, your grandma's a hustler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Anyway, my first
at
job.
Wells Fargo?
It was Wells Fargo.
The guy at the tower that said next.
No. I was big time. I was a personal banker.
Oh! You was the ma'am, come over here.
Yo, I was like, I'll set up a checking account for you. I was like,
Okay, big
man,
dog.
yo, I was rolling out down. I was so proud of my first job. I was out. It used to be the Purple Martini. I'd be down. I have my cards. I'd be handing my cards out. I'd be like, yo, personal banker, give me a call.
Hey, he was giving out motherfucking PPP loans before. He was like, hey, I can help you get that car.
I'm like,
You know what I'm saying? I
I'm
can help
like,
you with that right
the
there. Go
personal
ahead,
banker.
call
I was
me.
like, I felt good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you and after Wells Fargo, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell us how you hopped around.
Tech now?
Yeah, I'm in tech now. And so I went from Wells Fargo to a mortgage company. It was a wholesale mortgage company. So at the time, it was kind of like it was in COVID, like mortgage and real estate crazy.
Okay.
So I was during that like subprime boom where they give anybody a fucking loan. And so I transitioned from working at the bank to doing wholesale mortgages. And I mean, I remember this cat came into the bank. I was a personal banker and fucking happy as can be, right? I didn't understand how people could make money. I was just happy because it seemed like a super professional job. I was like, this is great. Wear a suit every day, which, you know, it's like, oh, this is good.
Hey, out of college too?
So this guy comes in and he's sitting across from me and, you know, I'm going through my whole pitch and everything. And he goes, I was like, what do you do? And he starts to tell me, he's like, I got this mortgage company. And then he gets up, he leaves. We finish our business. He gets up, he leaves, and then he comes back like 10 minutes later. He's like, hey, what if I told you if you came and worked for me, you make $10,000 your first month?
What the fuck? I'm like, well, it's fuck Wells Fargo.
I'll see you tomorrow
man.
morning?
Exactly.
Yo, and I looked at him and I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. He's like, come work for me. I resigned the next fucking day.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I accepted a job with this guy, not even knowing what I was getting into,
Right.
and went to work for him. It was a mortgage company. Long story, it was actually a really good company. My first month, I made 10 grand,
Hey.
and I was like, oh, this is different.
You was out like,
Yo, I was like, I'm gonna buy a Jacob watch. No.
it's all bitches.
I was like, I got an Escalade.
No.
I was just like,
Felt good.
it felt good. I was just like, damn, I didn't know people could. I was like, I never knew that could happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn. See. Okay. So then after that, what's next after the mortgage company?
So mortgage company went for a really good run there, and so back in 2008 when no. So it was 2006, right before the mortgage industry crashed, and it just wrecked our economy. So a couple of years before that, I was like, yo, I gotta get out of this shit.
Okay.
I was like, this don't feel right. And I was working for a company by the name of Bear Stearns. They were like the leader they're part of the reason why the economy just fucking broke down. I was working for them motherfuckers.
You've already felt it.
Yeah, and I was just like, yo, this is coming. I got to get out of this. And so I went into financial sales. It was like variable annuities and trading and stuff like that. So I was there for like 2 years building a really good career. And I transitioned from mortgage. I was like, I'm done with that. And so I get into that, and then the economy crashed, and I got laid off.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that hurt.
How was that?
It was, again, when you transition from college into real world, depressed, like it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
For a man, it's just like you get that just stings. Getting laid off.
puts a
It's like
little
you
ding in
did
your arm,
like you
yeah.
did something. And
You gonna do this to me?
I was like, motherfucker, what? I was like, I was producing all kinds of shit,
I
but
was
then
doing my
bam.
job, I was doing great.
And I was just,
Okay.
and then I was just like, man, I'm living this lifestyle. I got this nice house.
Were you prepared for it? Did you
No.
have something? No?
No, I wasn't prepared. I had this nice house. I had this nice Escalade truck. I had all this shit, and I owned my home, so that was good. But I was like, shit, man. I didn't prepare for this, getting laid off. I was like, I got a short runway before shit gets sideways on me. It was fucking stressful. I was like, okay, 6 months. I was like, I can get a job tomorrow. Wasn't like that. And so it was, you had to dig. You had to reach down deep and be like, look, I started to build a lot. I'm going to get it back. But this time around, I'm going to be smarter about my shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you getting laid off, that kind of taught you more, you know what I'm saying, about yourself too. So it's like, you're like, so you was getting this money, but you was living a certain lifestyle. You're like, yo, this ain't ever running out. And then done with it, and you're like, oh shit, now hold up.
Yeah, you just like, no more bottle service.
Ugh. Damn.
No more, I was like, ooh. I was like, this sucks.
No more VIP, general admission in the
Oh,
club.
they were like, where you been? I'm like,
Praying.
Yeah, praying. I'm just like, yeah.
I've been reading.
Rubbing 2 fingers.
I'm trying to find. Yeah, it was very humbling, and I figured a way out of it.
Yeah, I feel that.
How did you take care of yourself though during that? Because you went into your depression, and you've kind of had little experience with it before, with having that moment of my basketball career is over, but being an adult now, your own spot, your own money, real world problems.
Yeah.
How'd you take care of that mentally?
Family.
Yeah, you stuck close.
Being around my family. I mean, I had him here, my sister at the time. We were tight. My mom. It was just like, family got you through it. My uncle. One thing about family is they don't give a shit like what you make or anything like that. They want you to be healthy. They want you to, live a good life, be honest, take care of people. Like they just want you to be a good person. It doesn't matter what you have, just be a good person. And so not having that judgment from my family meant the world to me. They didn't give a shit. They were just like, okay, you're laid off, you're gonna be okay. Like,
we got you.
We got you. You'll figure this out. They were super supportive of this and just kept me strong the whole way through. And so that was a big element of it.
See, that's good on that because you're like the ringleader of our family.
Yeah.
So it's like, they definitely have. It's like, this is a side thing, but it's like when lions and lioness, like lioness kind of like care for the lion to go out and fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You kind of like are the fighter of the family. So it's like they saw that you was down, so they had to, get you back up to it, you know what I'm saying, and get back to where you are today. You know what I'm saying?
And your mama, your mom's a lot of reason.
Yeah.
Like your mom held me down. I mean, love my mom. Your mom fucking held me down.
Yeah.
Like no matter what was going on, I would call her first.
Yeah.
And it could be some fucking random ass shit and I'm in trouble and I'm just like, she's always the first person to get the call before anybody. It's like, shit, I gotta call my sister.
Yeah, see? Hey, she's a writer.
Yeah.
People will know more. So one more thing for, what is a non-negotiable for you?
Now that you're older, through your high school,
Like, you're like,
college, through your layout,
I'm
through your
gonna
professional,
I'm
through your
gonna do
work,
this
through your-
all the time, no matter what. Like, I'm gonna do it.
You can be, I do this every season, I do this every year, I do this with my family, I do this for myself, I do this.
So a non-negotiable for me is every year in January I sit down and I write my goals out. It's non-negotiable. Like I do this shit, this is part of my discipline. I do this shit every year. I sit down and it's within, I'm a superstitious as fuck. I'm like, I can't get out of January. Like I gotta do it this month.
do it, yeah.
I'm not. So I sit down and I do personal goals. I do family, I do financial, and I do personal.
Okay.
And so the personal bucket I have a hard time with because, taking care of my family and working all that shit is, right? But you got to have some personal time.
You got to. You always got to take care of your star player.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. And so that's a non-negotiable. I do not negotiate that time that I sit down and I write out my goals for the year. And they're not like crazy goals, but I check them shits almost every single day because I have check marks in my phone. And then I journal every single day in my phone. At the end of the day or in the morning for my workout or whatever, a couple things. I'm like, this is what happened yesterday. Move on from it. This is how you feeling today. This is what you want to accomplish. Like every single day I stay, like I manage that shit. And it keeps me on track and it keeps me closer to my goals at the end of the year. Like I'm like flying through the motherfuckers. I'm like, wow, this is good. It feels good for me, but I need that shit.
Yeah, people don't understand like writing those goals out, you know what I'm saying? Like I started doing that in high school. I think you told me to do that. But I started doing it in high school a little bit. I mean, you kind of care, but it's like whatever.
Yeah.
I was told to do this, and then like in college, it's like, all right, I'm gonna write it.
Yeah.
But now I feel that like it's like a routine. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like a thing where it's like, yo, like I want to make this shit happen. This is how I make it happen, and it's like as you go, and then you're like, okay, this is this amount of months throughout the year. Where am I at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what's up. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna take a little break. Yo, what's good, everybody? This is RJ.
And I'm Isaac.
And welcome to a special segment, Sponsor Talk. All right, so we want to give a special shout out to our sponsors, Fresh Bakes.
Boom, the OGs of cannabis in Boulder, located right off of Pearl Street. Make
Yes,
sure you
sir.
go check
Yes,
them
sir.
out.
Shout out to Chad.
Hey.
All right, so Isaac, how do you feel about Fresh Bakes, my brother?
I actually really like it. You know, bounced around from a bunch of different dispensaries and fell in love with this one right as soon as I walked in, you know?
You know what I'm saying? Was it the product, the environment? What was it?
The product right away. The different varieties, walking in, seeing everything displayed, being able to actually check out everything. That was amazing. Loved
Okay.
it. Love seeing things like that.
Okay. So what would you say right now, if you could pick a strain, what would be like your strain that you're currently smoking or your favorite?
Jelly pie.
Jelly pie?
Yep, jelly pie. That was the
Yee,
one.
wow. Okay.
And you, I know you walked out there with me too. So,
Okay.
what's yours?
So
What's your strain?
mine right now is garlic breath.
Garlic bread.
Yeah, I know. It sounds hard. It sounds rough. It sounds like after you smoke it, you need a mint. You know what I'm saying? But
some spaghetti.
No, but I just love it. The smell, you know what I'm saying? It breaks down nice. I love the way it smokes. You know what I'm saying? Like I would definitely say Fresh Baked has that different feel. Because it's in Boulder too, right? It's kind of
yeah.
it's kind of like where it's like it started off. But I definitely love like their vibe in there, man. Like the homie vibe, the feel, and you know we've tried a few products, but right now garlic breath is definitely
That's what has your heart right
exactly.
now.
I'm with that right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you're ever in the area, definitely go check them out. Again, Fresh Baked Boulder, the OGs of cannabis in Boulder.
That's right.